In considering a tune-up on a VW 1600 dual port engine, it's very important to remember that one of the things that happens here is with the distributor and the cap. You can see the inside of the cap here on each of these little points. I've gone ahead and I've taken a tool, a dental tool, and I've scraped each of the contacts clean. It's very important to note that these get corroded. I usually do it every 3 months or so. Try and clean them up, get all that crap off the contacts so that the thing will fire properly. And as well, in addition, is to take a look at the rotor. And you can see it's kind of shiny here where I've cleaned it off. It should be that shiny there and on the tip. Get all the crud off of it. Because if you don't, what happens is you get misfiring going on. Other than adjusting the valves and making sure that this fuel filter stays nice and clean, and making sure that the spark plugs stay gapped and clean is very, very important. Again, the best tool to use is a dental pick. You can buy these by the pound at places like Boeing Surplus, probably Kent Tool, other places like that. I like using the scaler. It has a really sharp tip and a very sharp side edge. It's very, very good, very handy for trying to clean up these points. And again, I just take that tool and I go along the top here like this, and I just scrape it good and clean. Being very gentle. You want to put a nice surface on there for the contact. You can see there's a little dirt right here. See that right here? It's a little bit dirty. That's what you want to clean off also. Well, I hope this helps. May your Volkswagen stay running forever. Okay, here you can see that rubber hose sticking out of the spark plug tin. And that's really important because there's hardly any room to put your fingers down between the tin and the tip of the spark plug to get it started. This is especially true with plugs that do not have that little metal tip screwed onto them. So very important you understand that. This Volkswagen wiring, especially this style here, if you look on the inside of it, you'll see that it's got this little metal thread, and you want to make sure that you get the type of wire head that doesn't require that extra tip on the spark plug. Okay, the one thing to remember is you don't ever want to put grease on a spark plug just to be able to slide it into the head hole easier, because what happens is the grease will allow the plug to back out and then come flying out of the hole almost like a bullet, and that's a great way to blow up your head. So you don't want to do that with a Volkswagen. You just want to remember when you're putting those plugs in just to be really gentle. You don't want to cross thread them. Okay, here's a quick look at a spark plug up close. You can see that the plug is appearing to be a little carbon deposited, and the tip looks like it's been burning good and hot. You see it's kind of red and orange there at the tip. That's something you want to be aware of. It appears to be burning just right. I don't see a lot of carbon buildup on the tip or on the plug point itself. So it's been burning good and hot. Just a lot of carbon buildup, so it might be running a little rich. Another thing to remember is when you're doing your spark plugs and cleaning them, you want to do them one wire at a time. I usually do them in the order that the firing order is, which is 1, 4, 3, 2. And also when you're putting them in, make sure the wires are all the way onto the head of the plug. Make sure you push down real hard and you hear them crunch as hard as you can, because if they don't make contact, they're not going to fire. Good luck and have a lot of fun rolling down the road. Okay, back to tune-ups. We're taking a look at this spark plug here, and I've gone ahead and gapped it to 0.25, which is the standard gap for VW plugs. And if you notice, it's a Bosch plug, which is standard for Volkswagen. What I always try and do is I try and use a piece of hose like this, old fuel hose, and what I do is I put it over the top of the spark plug. And the reason that we do that is we want to make sure that when we put the plug back in, that we're not going to strip out the threads on the head. And that's so very important. Let's see if I can try and get this in here. So basically what you want to do is cut off a straight piece about 4 to 5 inches long, rotate it so that when you're putting it into the spark plug hole, as you rotate it, it goes in nice and straight. With this method, you're not putting a lot of stress on the threads, which would then end up stripped out. This way you can gently feel back and forth with this rubber, whether or not it's grabbing hold, and you'll feel it start to tighten up and thread in easily if you're doing this correctly. Again, you want to use a straight piece of hose. Hope that helps. Again, recording the monster. Got it timed and tuned now. Running great.